An excerpt from the letters of Lieutenant Samuel Evergrace, aide-de-camp to Commander Azar, born of Drakenor, leader of the Consonant Legion. Chara, Ophidian, Kasharban. I don't know when it was that we started calling them by new names. Whisper, Omen, Ruin. Names not for sermons, but for campfire tales. Names to curse. Names to scream. And then the one they serve, Cinder King. The one who felled Azel-Sha'el and put the hiss of the Never in our ears. The voice of the dead god. It's got a new name, too. Smaller folk won't speak it, but we all know it anyway. Time. Time is against us. Time infected us the moment we came into the world. There's no way to halt the spread. We might as well throw rocks at the sky. All you can hope for is to move, to keep ahead of it. For one more step. For one more day. Maybe that's why we're the ones still here. Maybe the Legion, or what is left of it. Maybe we survived and others didn't, because we did what we've always done. We keep moving, and we don't stop. Not for time, not for broken, not for the fucking Cinder King. Up in the middle of, I guess in the tail end of the mission phase, where we are going to see how this secondary mission goes. Matthew, can you remind us what the secondary mission is?
For sure. So the secondary mission was Route Recon. The road to Sarpat, which is our next sort of major settlement. Who knows if we go there today or if we wait around here again. We'll find out. Is riddled with pockets of never, overeager bandits, and who knows what else. An old watchtower is not only a good spot for scouting, but a likely site for leftover resources. If we succeed, the reward will be +1 intel and +1 asset.
Gavin, can you remind us who went on the secondary mission?
It was Kael and Aoife, our heavy and sniper.
Along with another squad.
They took the Grinning Ravens.
Cool. Kris, as the quartermaster, you get to decide whether or not we're going to spend a resource based on the mission type. This is a recon mission, so it would be horses.
Yes, I was going to give them horses.
Okay.
Horses.
Okay. Are all on the mission OATHSWORN to the Legion? Yes. Did the commander spend 1 intel to give foresight and info? No. Is everyone on the mission a specialist or soldier? No. Does any Legionnaire distrust the leadership or not fear them enough to obey orders on the battlefield? No. Did the quartermaster spend horses to equip the mission? Yes. Is any Legionnaire starting with heavy load? No. Because we don't do load for the secondary mission. So that's 2 dice.
Mm-hmm.
And this is entirely what decides the fate of the secondary mission, is this roll. We don't play it out, we just roll and we describe what happened.
That's a 5.
Well,
on a 5, fail the mission or succeed and 2 squad members die and all specialists take level 2 harm.
Fuck.
Oh, this game is brutal.
Uh-huh.
Who decides this? Is this Marshall decides? Or do we all decide?
I think we all decide.
Okay.
So failure is +1 pressure.
Yes, which is not good because we're going to get a +1 pressure anyway.
But 2 squad members dying means we would be in middle morale.
Yeah.
And we'd only get 1 campaign action.
Yeah.
Oof a doof.
Yeah. If the mission fails, does that assume everybody comes back like fine?
Yeah, they decide not to push through and come back.
Oof.
And what was the rewards for the mission again?
The reward is 1 intel and 1 asset.
Which you don't really need now. Well, so there are ways that we can reduce the pressure, right? We just spent some horses, but we could spend some more horses.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would be putting us at, we would be at 4 pressure after this.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a lot.
How does the pressure mechanic work again?
So pressure determines the number of die that we roll to see how much time passes.
It's equal to the number.
That's equal to the number of pressure is the number of die. And if we run out of time, the game just ends. So it is very much just like our final health bar, essentially.
Yeah. God, this is a brutal choice.
Yeah, immediately.
I mean, like,
Morale is not easy to gain.
Yeah.
yeah.
We can also we could also leave. So if we advance, pressure resets to 0.
Mm-hmm.
I say we fail it. That's where I'm at.
It does seem like the less big loss.
I say we fail it and we plan to move. I know that Brendan was gesturing that there was like cool stuff here, but I was always saying we should just move from the jump. I wasn't going to even have us hang here for a week. So if we move, the increase of pressure is not a concern.
Yeah, and like getting cool stuff is cool, but also we're gonna need to spend cool stuff to heal our dudes.
Yeah. And we do have a lot of intel from the primary mission already.
Right. So if there's a secret mission in the next place we go to, we could discover that and get cool stuff that way. What do you think, Gavin?
I think fail as well.
Okay.
What is it that makes them decide to fall back? What's the site that makes them? Who's in charge here? Is it Kayo or Iffy?
Aoife.
Aoife, excuse me. I'm sorry.
I think it's Kaio.
What does Kayo see that's like, no, we're falling back?
Is it another thing falling from the sky? Like, I don't know if that's a good or like. I can't tell if that would be the. Is that kind of what they went out there to go find?
No. So there was a different mission to go fight a sky beast.
Oh, I meant don't never like drop from the sky or something. I can't remember if that's fact or if that's myth in setting.
I think pieces of the sky do drop.
Yeah.
And that could actually be a sweet visual if there was like a drop that like fell out of the sky in the area of the mission and it just started to like rot the land. Like
on the way there, you know, between Aoife and Kaio, they just like look up and they're like, "Oh no, we're not walking into that.
We can't march our horses. We can't march our horses through this.
We're
our horses
not taking
fucking die.
These rookies and these horses into that. Absolutely not."
That's so scary.
I think that's an interesting thing to call out as like the deal breaker because that's only going to keep happening. Like that is, if anything, that is only the beginning of pockets of never showing up like that. Okay, in which case we move on to mission penalties and rewards. First, we incur all penalties for missions not pursued. So we're going to get the penalty both for Route Recon and for the Powerful Never mission.
Yep, so we're at 4 pressure now.
4 pressure. Oh, here's Marshall detail the results of the secondary mission. Surviving specialists earn 2 XP.
Even on a fail?
Good
Yep,
question.
even on a fail.
Hell yeah.
I guess it's maybe like They didn't just like see what was happening and turn around. They at least got like waist deep in and saw that things were escalating and then called for a retreat. Right?
Yeah, well, they get XP from seeing the big scary thing and living to tell the tale.
That's fair.
Right.
Yeah.
This also puts Aoife over the edge to earn an advance.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Unless you want to move those two somewhere else.
No, I don't know. I feel like the more you spread out XP, the like weaker you remain in these games. I'm always about setting a goal on one of the tracks. I'm gonna read over these abilities and see which one.
Awesome. Commander, mark changes to pressure, time, and intel. So we just talked about the pressure. As we've said, you got 5 intel total from the primary mission.
Right.
And no time changes as part of...
Not from this one.
Not from these, no. Quartermaster, mark changes to supply and assets. Marshal, mark changes to morale. We lost one person. We lost Root.
Yep, we are at 9 morale.
Okay. Which means the Consonant Legion is back at camp. We start the campaign phase with back at camp. The lorekeeper selects and leads a back at camp scene. Note the current morale and which scenes have already been chosen.
If we hadn't lost...
Okay, I think... Oh, was that...
No, go ahead. I was just thinking if we hadn't lost that one rookie, then we could have afforded to lose or to succeed the other mission.
Is that really how we're going to remember Root?
That's how I'm going to remember Root.
Fuck. I think going off of what we described as being the like failure of the last mission, I think one of these is very apt. Storms darken the skies, rumors and wild speculations spread.
Love it.
I think, Kael and Eva come back talking about terrible things dropping from the sky. And I think that kind of spread through the camp and people are a bit anxious, especially because this was a mission that was sent out that basically didn't accomplish anything. Mm-hmm. Do I need to involve the lorekeeper in what these like scenes look like? Or
no,
is this just sort of place setting?
You're like a mini GM here. You can be like, Gavin, I want you to play Lark, and can someone else play Penthos for this scene where blah, blah, blah happens?
Yeah, it's kind of like playing an aspect of the world in a no dice, no masters game, where you get to paint with the palette of what the scene has created.
I was trying to think like what ability to take as the sniper. Mm-hmm. And one of them says, one eye. You replaced an eye with an alchemical construct. You can see invisible targets clearly and identify supernatural forces. And even though she didn't take a level 2 harm on the mission, I kind of almost imagined like she got splashed in the eye by some of this stuff. And that like was one of the moments that made them turn back. And she has to get like a fake eye now. And I think that could be pretty interesting.
I'm into that.
I think like, do you think Kael had any minor damages taken during the mission?
Probably some, but going with the not mechanical harm, like enough that she might be in the med tent for a minute, but they're most of the way fine.
Yeah, I just like the idea of framing a scene around being like in the med tent and like talking about like what we went through.
Sure.
I would love it if the commander was there trying to like get a sense of like why nothing was accomplished.
All right.
Gavin, do you want to play anybody in the scene? Do you want to play like a rookie or something?
Sure. I could play Freedom.
Who's Freedom?
The Mercy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
I don't think we've seen Freedom before.
Nope.
Kris, would you care to describe?
Is there like a particular way Mercy's dressed? Like I know in the base book, they have something to do with the, what was it, Azrika? I don't remember the names of anything.
Yeah. So like,
but I wonder if maybe mercies in this are related to the god that, was it Udit who's a chosen of?
Udet, and that was the Lord of Song.
Okay, Lord of Song.
So yeah, there could be like a dark, maybe like stained robe that Udet wears. Maybe a big canvas smock.
Mm-hmm.
Has like a basin of water that they're washing their hands in.
So yeah, the thing there is that like wherever there is song, the Lord of Song exists, right? I remember that from Lark. I wonder if like is Lark unique in not speaking much, or is that kind of more common? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Freedom
Okay.
definitely speaks and stuff.
Okay, yeah. Because then I wonder if they might also like sing some while they heal and mend people as a sort of like, you know, that way. Lord of Song is here, watching over you, helping out. You know, they can see that we're doing some good stuff here. Until I can pick some kind of face cast, is it okay if we go mostly on vibes?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Ideal. Thank you.
Do you have any vibes in mind?
I think even the way they speak is kind of sing-songy. I'm not going to say you must speak sing-songily, but like...
Yeah, I imagine that like the Mazdor language is tonal in some way. So even when not speaking it, it sort of accent comes through. Cool. Yeah, okay, I can play this person now.
Yeah, I think Aoife is like sitting up in bed being like examined by Freedom. I think Freedom's vibe here is that like they are surprised that she didn't take any corruption during this and that she's lucky, very lucky that she didn't take any corruption. And Aoife's like, well, we saw something happen. There was a big flash of, it wasn't a flash of light. It was a flash of like darkness, like everything went night for a moment and then it cleared up, and I tried to get ahead of the party to scout to see what was happening. And there was something in the air, like a mist, and some of it got into my eye. There was a fierce wind, and I couldn't see anything, and I fell off my horse, and I'm lucky not to have broken anything from that. And the rest caught up with me, and we were able to get to safety. But it seemed, I don't know, can't see out of my left eye anymore.
If Azar is there, then he probably like gives a curt nod of acknowledgement for this, and hands, arms folded as he's listening. And he says, where did this happen?
We were... Does the mission, what was the like location that we were going to again?
It was the road to Sarpat.
You're headed to a watchtower.
Okay. Was it like a watchtower on like a pass or something like that, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was along that road.
Yeah.
Oh, what if we were like almost at the watchtower and then we just see like this drip of black just like hit it and just like almost ooze down over it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like dripping down the like side of a mountain. Yeah, we were hiking up the pass, and darkness started to drip down from the peak.
So then the road to Sarpat is clear.
I don't know. There are clouds gathering near the road. They seem ominous.
Kael, what's your take on this?
Kaio sort of like has been probably sitting by where Aoife is, like, I don't know, might have some bandages on their arm and just sort of like, you know, tilts their head side to side and goes, the pass was getting darker when we left, knowing how these things go. That's likely only continued. We didn't get a good look at the road ahead all the way, so that's still an unknown.
there's like the barely concealed sound of like rookies huddled on the other side of the tent, trying to be like as quiet as they can so that they can listen in.
What's Freedom's take on all this?
I think Freedom, who's been holding Aoife's blind eye open, says we'll have to amputate before the infection spreads.
I think the like pupil has like dilated bigger than the iris.
How long will that take?
We don't need to describe that part.
Yeah. Eyes are easy.
Azar like tilts his head in such a way that his eye patch is closer.
Did they amputate your eye, or was that someone else?
I was imagining that as an old wound. How long do we think Freedom's been with the Legion?
I like the idea of Freedom having been here for, like, was part of this from way back, like even before everything was brought back together for Chosen Con. I can't remember that it was called anything else.
That's
always what it is in my head.
Chosen Con.
The mythical Chosen Con. Yep.
The consonants, the con, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Con.
Yeah.
We might even have made that joke already. Yeah, then yes,
Absolutely sure we did.
100% Freedom. Freedom is the one who amputated Azar's eye.
Then you know how it goes. Bite down on this, and then we cut to the rookies outside.
Well,
Does Aoife, do you want to do something else first?
I had a thing there. If we're okay with it, I was just gonna have before we hit the surgery, I wanted Azar to very loudly and noticeably shout, like almost shout speak, go. Well, then those who can should be at their posts.
Sure.
Cut to them scattering. Does Aoife make noise, or is it just them scattering?
In terms of her reaction to getting her eye removed?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, okay. I think she's, before it happens, I think she does say something like kind of sassy in Azar's presence about like how she needs her eyes more than he does probably for her profession as a sniper. But she consents to it. I think maybe like Freedom says something about like some sort of like reliquary that they could use as an eye instead.
Yeah.
Like, because we described the reliquaries being like parts of like Chosen and stuff like that.
Oh, that's really interesting.
And gross.
So maybe she gets like a wooden petrified like eye.
What's especially interesting about that is that we have a mercy. We don't have an alchemist, which means we can't manufacture these things. We have what we have. And Freedom could have given this to Azar, but didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's what I'm wondering is maybe this was Azar's, and Azar's here to give it to Aoife.
Oh, do we get this moment of Aoife being like, I need my eyes more than you do, and Azar saying, I agree.
Oh, yo.
That's sick.
Takes off eye patch, revealing fucking
Yeah.
Harry Potter, what's his face eye.
That I agree.
Moody.
Yeah. 100%.
Donovan Shurigan, my favorite wizard.
Donovan, what?
It's a Naruto thing. This is an anime podcast, remember?
I was about to say.
Now that Aoife has Azar's eye, she'll be able to unlock the Mangekyo, which is going to be really helpful down the line for us, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wonderful.
I was wondering
That
how
feels
long
like
it would
seeing-
take.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. All the
Let's see.
characters like snort and start laughing out loud
I bet this like
Yeah,
looks
we-
kind of fucked up.
because they're in character telling each other Naruto jokes at this point.
Yeah.
The ancient lore.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then when Aoife is like right in the middle of a big laugh, Freedom like swaps it in like, gotcha. That's not right.
Yeah. I mean, we skipped the part that was brutal for
Yeah.
good reason. She probably screamed, but as soon as the wound is healed, she now has this like fucked up stone eye.
That's excellent. I like that a lot.
It probably looks kind of weird.
And Freedom has a bandage on over their eye, like left eye. Because how they heal, or how Mercy's heal is by taking the wound onto themselves.
Right.
That's so fucked up. So I am curious, like, what the rookies start to talk about, because like this darkness fell from the sky. It injured some people. It made the mission awash, and they were mentioning like clouds building up over the pass. Like, what rumors do you think people say? Maybe each of us can have like one rumor that the rookies think about what's happening in the sky.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I think that at least some of the rookies have completely misunderstood, and they believe that there's a stinging fog that petrifies one of your eyes.
What? Yeah, absolutely. Kris, give me a rumor.
I think between both missions, probably some rumors come out that like there's some kind of like people who are infected by the Broken can like scream down the sky.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
That's great.
Right, like the screams were like calling down more never. Shit.
Particularly a particularly contagious rumor in a culture that believes that wherever there is song, there is the Lord of Song. Gavin.
Probably, I'm going to expand beyond just this scene and the secondary mission. I think people are talking about how we shouldn't be keeping a auger in our midst, that somebody needs to take care of it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, maybe there's some sort of like parody between bringing an eye back into the camp and then somebody coming back to the camp without one.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yo.
I love that.
Net even eyes.
Devin, what's your rumor?
I think there's like a very talkative like Tylios dude who's like talking about how important like mountainside like watershed is, and that if like this like darkness is dripping down into the watershed, that like we should be wary about collecting like fresh water because it might be corrupted.
My rumor is the opposite of Gavin's, is that we are being punished for treating an auger in this way.
Yeah, there probably are a bunch of people that still believe in the eyes of smoke, even though they've led us into doom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't know.
Like we don't necessarily know. Yeah.
I don't think the command roles know that. You could find it out, but yeah. Okay, so the commander marked +1 time and +1 pressure. Quartermaster
Sure did.
note -1 food.
Yikes. Is this uses of food or just like
Uses.
This is a
Uses.
use of food.
Okay. Okay.
So we have 2 food,
Cool.
neither of which have been used yet. So you have marked 1 use. That's
Yeah,
like one
I've done
of
that.
6 that we had.
6. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're fine.
Yeah. Lorekeeper, not enough people have died, so not the time for the Tale of the Legion is not quite here yet.
It's fine.
Which means I think it's time for campaign actions.
Mm-hmm.
We have 9 morale, which means you have 2 free actions.
Huzzah.
As a reminder, the campaign actions are acquire asset, liberty, recruit, R&R, and long-term projects. Quartermaster. What is the Constant Legion going to do?
One of them's gonna be a liberty, because everyone from the primary mission's real stressed. Real stressed.
That was a stressful one.
It was a stressful time. You know?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah, so one of those is going to be Liberty.
Awesome.
Liberty look like here? This place is so creepy.
What does Liberty do mechanically? Oh, it's written right there. Never mind.
Yeah, Liberty. Every character clears up to 3 stress, and Legion morale increases by 2.
Phenomenal. And Bane is back to 1 stress.
Eve is clear. Nice.
Lance should be back to 1 as well, I think.
Cool.
Lark's at 2.
And we're back up to 10 morale.
What does that look like?
Yeah, I was also trying to think, because, like, the idea of people partying in the remnants of Chosen Con is, like, so bleak. It's just real creepy. Let's see. Liberty says, yeah, Legionnaires can party, fraternize, or relax as they see fit, but doing so in shifts.
Can I describe what Aoife does?
Sure, if you got something.
I think she goes and climbs a tree somewhere, and she takes out her sketchbook and she tries to draw the landscape to see if her new eyes is good enough. And I think she notices details that she wouldn't have noticed before.
Kind of details. She can see, like, what, magic stuff, ghost stuff with her eye now?
Mm-hmm.
She could see some fucked up stuff then.
Yeah.
Because
like, what's here?
The eye can see invisible targets clearly and identify supernatural forces.
Oh, great.
I think she finds herself drawing like figures and stuff in the hills, and she's like, "Oh fuck, what?"
She shows it to someone else. It's like, where did you see that? Right over there. I don't see what.
It's like a massive figure, like just a shadowy form with like big limbs that is just kind of like leaning over the hills.
Cool.
If anybody's played Bloodborne, there's like these invisible, huge monsters that you see at one point in the sky once the moon becomes full. It's that kind of vibe.
Mm.
Awesome.
But I think they're like not tangible looking. I think they're like almost made of clouds.
Cool.
And the commander was just seeing this the whole time.
I mean, that's why the commander was like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Makes a lot more sense. It all makes sense now.
How does Lark use their liberty?
I think Lark is sitting in the middle of camp carving on a block of wood. I don't think she's very good at carving, but she's doing it.
Kris, what about Kaio?
I think Kaio is trying to keep himself busy and is also trying to keep a bunch of rookies busy so that they don't just like rumor mill into oblivion.
Right,
so it's like doing the equivalent of like university orientation week icebreaker games with a bunch of rookies.
Like sitting cross-legged in a circle.
They're like playing Ninja.
Oh my god.
Matthew, what does Nabane do with this freedom?
I think Nabane and Freedom might be friends.
Oh, yeah?
The character, the Mercy.
I think Brendan meant Liberty.
Did I say freedom?
You said
instead
freedom.
Of liberty? That's funny. Okay.
Yeah, but it's funny.
It is. It's really funny.
No, but that's what I was going to say anyway. That I think that Nabane and Freedom are friends.
Cool.
And I think that Nabane doesn't heal like Freedom heals. Nabane heals with like tinctures and tonics, and Freedom heals with weird magic. And so I think Nabane is like fussing after them because like now they have a new like healing eye injury as if they had gotten an eye transplant of their own eye, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Lance is regaling a bunch of rookies about how he resisted the seduction of a.
Wow.
Gosh, is that what happened?
Interesting. This is
Well,
where
Lark's not going to say anything about it.
That's where the rumors are coming from.
Yeah. Lark
Hey,
wasn't
he's
even
got
there.
to come out of all of this with at least a cool guy reputation.
I was thinking he might come out of this with a court-martial, but we'll see. Kris, what is the quartermaster's second campaign action?
Yes. Looking at those. I think.
Sorry.
Yes.
I just have a concern that you might take under consideration when picking a thing.
Mm-hmm.
We are almost definitely going to hit our first time clock in this next roll when we move.
Okay.
It's going to allow us to reduce pressure after that.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, we're going to hit our time clock thing, which means that the never that we face are going to get a new power.
Ah, that's bad.
It's really bad. Doesn't necessarily means we're 1/3 out of our total campaign hit points, because we can reduce time through like long-term projects, or through if Brendan is nice and gives us missions that will reduce time, then we have those options as well. This is also why I was saying that we're fine on food, because we'll run out of time well before we run out of food at this rate.
Super.
Yeah, that's just my concern, and that might, suggest particular campaign actions of ways to tell us what kind of powers we might be running into, how the numbers might be getting stronger, or to reduce time or things like that.
Yeah, I think I want to do a long-term project, but I think it's one regarding never, because like a bunch has happened. There was the, whatever the heck, I don't remember the name of it, that Abunalance dealt with. There's things coming out of the sky at us, like something around figuring out the things that we're dealing with, who we're dealing with, what to expect, and how to better counter them.
Yeah, like doing an inventory of like what the actual enemy categories you're up against would be really good.
Yeah, is this like an information and data thing?
Sure. Who do you think takes the lead on that?
Ooh, it feels like either Lance or Nabane, because they have the most kind of like face-to-face experience with them, and also Nabane has books, just so many books.
Yeah, this seems like a very Nabane kind of thing, if I might say so.
Yeah, he's a nerd.
Maybe that's research to start off with? That seems to make sense, right?
Research, and then once we know who and what we're dealing with, then we can work towards, I don't know, not having them fuck us up quite so badly.
I think this is a 6-step clock.
Okay.
Nabane can roll research to get this started off.
Oh, do I roll it, or I thought Kris rolled it?
No, Nabane rolls it. So whoever wants to play Nabane in this moment.
That's true. Yeah, anyone could play Nabane. Anyone has the potential to be a Nabane.
Damn.
That's what gets me through my days.
I'm just going to write here, never Dex, and then here we go.
Never Dex.
I deserve that.
Not great. That's a 1 and a 2. So
well.
It's not ideal.
1 progress on this clock.
It's good enough.
Nabane spends too much time picking out the right, materials and resources. Doesn't actually get started before we have to pick up and move.
Tries out a bunch of fonts.
Writes the title in different sizes. He plays around.
He does all of
with
the formatting first.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then starts to put in information and realizes, like, no, this formatting doesn't work, actually. I need to resize cells. I need to... No.
Very good.
Do we still get the free Maltic?
It's for appropriate projects, and seeing as she's a blacksmith, I don't know how much that makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean, people can be, multifaceted individuals.
This is true. She could just be like, Nabane is just like, I need all of these things brought to here, and Mal's just like, okay, well, 2 people will move these faster than 1, so let's go, I guess.
Yeah.
I was thinking more in terms of, like, Mal we don't know what Mal was before she became a blacksmith.
True.
Right? Mal could have been in the Legion. Mal could just have traveled with the Legion for a long time and could have heard about the Never that they've encountered, right?
Or it could be a blacksmith that also likes reading books.
True. Yeah, let's go. A blacksmith who reads books. Yeah, clapping. Lots of clapping.
I'll take the free take.
I'm a fan of the players. I like the characterization.
Yeah.
Once
there we go.
Nice.
I want to see pictures of Mal with a hammer in one hand and a book in the other on my desk by the end of the day.
Also, with all of these characters, people need at least 2 defining features.
Yeah, absolutely.
Glasses down at the bottom of her nose, smashing at a piece of iron.
Making thin aluminum bookmarks.
Mal is building the computer on which Nabane will create the spreadsheet.
Yeah. Forging a book. I love this.
Yeah.
Dink, dink, dink. Quartermaster, update the status of any alchemists, laborers, and mercies. I bet this has already been done.
Oh, yes. No, it has not, because Freedom is now wounded, so I have to put that box there.
Freedom's technically not wounded because
yeah.
mechanically that wasn't a.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yep, that's true.
Good thing for the reminder.
Yep,
Thank you.
we did a very good job playing out the theatrics of not being wounded and getting an eye.
The only person wounded at the moment is Nabane, right?
Yeah. Which I've kept intentional.
Okay.
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Kaio has also got a level 1 wound.
I'll deal with that next time.
I would like Kaio to be fully healthy. I feel like that's important as the like tank, but
It's a level 1 harm, so
Which, yeah, Nabane has an ability that just lets him, like, poof, now you don't.
my only concern is that there will be more harm to take.
That is true and accurate, but also it would put us down to 1 supply, right?
It would.
Because you have to spend
Yeah.
supply to take more. Yeah, like that was the 2 free actions.
That's
But
correct.
to do any more, I'd have to spend supply.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we have 2 supply. Granted, we
Fair.
can't go above 3 supply, but supply it seems hard to come by.
Yeah, fair.
Cool.
what do supply carts do?
I think they let you carry more supply.
Yes, that is correct.
1 sec.
I think without additional supply, you can only have a max of 3 supply.
I think for every supply cart, you can increase that maximum by 1.
Yeah. And you can have more.
Okay.
You can't bring it with you if you advance.
That's what
Yeah.
doesn't bring with you if you advance. So all of the
Yeah,
other
the Legion.
material stays with us.
Yep.
Yeah, the Legion can always take 3 supply with it and can take an additional supply for each supply cart it has. Any over that limit must be left behind when you advance.
Okay. Cool. We're good.
Yeah.
Cool. In which case, I think we're done with campaign actions.
I was going to ask. The scene I wanted to frame was the like leaders of the Legion talking about the augur. I think it is. I think it's Azar.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Kravannder Soul. I think it's Kael Osier. I think it's the Marshal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it is Serikali.
Okay.
Brendan, do you want to be Serikali?
Yeah.
So the augur's not here.
No, I think he's like chained up somewhere still.
I would say that once the situation became clear, I don't think that Azar would keep him in chains, but Azar would definitely keep him locked down, like he's under guard.
Yeah. I think we're in the like officer's tent, whatever that looks like. And I was just thinking about this. I want to evoke something I'm dealing with in real life at the moment. I was describing this off mic, but I live in San Francisco near the Golden Gate Bridge. And some days when it's really, really windy, the Golden Gate Bridge like sings and it has this like low metallic drone.
Great.
It's extremely loud. And I think there's something like that kind of happening in the environment as these like weird storms start to form and build up. There's just this like ominous, just kind of low roar in the sky that almost has like a uncanny metallic kind of sound to it. Something that doesn't sound natural at all. Does anybody have any strong opinions about the state of the camp? What we should do with this augur? Who might like say something first in this conversation?
Serikali, I think, immediately is like, we've lingered here too long. We need to move to a defensible position.
I'm glad that you've come to my way of thinking.
No response.
Kael is like, yes, there's a foul energy about. But what of our future teller? I've heard whispers amongst the camp.
What whispers?
Some feel his presence is an omen in itself. That we are being punished for bringing them into our midst.
By who?
Any number of dead gods.
If they are dead, then they can do us no harm. Haki yet lives. I am her chosen. If they would believe in something that will punish incorrect action, let them believe in me. Looks over at the marshal, is like, are all of the Legion's numbers ruled by superstition?
Kinda. Look, when death dealing is your business, you develop some really specific rituals. Choose on cigar that they've never lit. The real problem with this bad omen bullshit is that I've got to have guards on this auger 24/7 so that nobody does anything that I'm going to have to make them regret.
The hearts that hold their fears pump blood to the hands that hold their swords.
Exactly.
We must listen to the feelings of our legionnaires.
Fine. Looks at Commander Azar and is like, then shall we leave him here? I would just as soon not bring a incendiary device in our midst if we're going to resume the march.
I think that Azar looks very tired. He is not used to not having his orders belabored and not used to having the literal embodiment of the Senate in front of him that he can't actively say no to. But he turns to Kravannder and says, Kravannder, we have the food for the man, correct?
We do. Yep.
He is no burden on our supplies.
No, not. It's one person. He's not too much to handle. No. I think Kravannder is trying to, like, this whole time Kravander's been like, listening and like nodding along, and it's like trying to think of how to say like, but also if this dude has information, like we sent a bunch of people into, I don't know how much of the rumors. They're rumors for a reason. Heck, he's probably just saying all this, right? Like, and regardless of how much of the rumor you believe, we did send people to go get this auger, so we should hear what he has to say before either leaving him here or taking him with us. Wouldn't that was the point, right?
Excellent point. I was going to suggest, with everyone's permission, to invite him to the gatherings, to let him speak to the people, to let him clear his own name.
No.
Marshall's just wide-eyed. Like, what?
Yeah, I think Kravander's looking at Kael with just like mouth open, like,
He's not sworn to the Legion.
This is not the Senate.
Some fire comes back to Azar, who has been sort of slumped over a bit, tired, and he says, I am no expert, but by my understanding, the eyes of smoke have it that this is all preordained. If there is good or bad luck from having that miscreant with us, we will take it on. We are the Legion. Marshal, you will ensure that he has guards no matter how much they grumble, and make sure that no rumors spread. Kael, by all means, track these rumors and speak to those who have them. But do not think for a moment that those who are not oathsworn have rights here. That is all. He comes with us.
Serikali nods and turns and leaves without saying anything else.
Commander,
Yes.
if we did get him to swear to the Legion, be a pretty big deal.
That's your expertise, Marshal. Do you think you can do it?
Put a spear in his hands and bring him into the... I was about to say brotherhood, but that's not the right word for this. Is there a gender neutral? Bring him into the family? That just doesn't feel the same.
That's the Fast and the Furious.
When you're here, your family.
Yeah. Look, if we can get him oathsworn to the Legion, and mean it. That would resolve a lot of people's worries, I think.
But we will continue to control his narrative.
There's only one narrative here. It's the Legion or it's nothing. Marshal, if you think that you can bring him in, you have my blessing. Is there anything else?
I'll keep my ear to the stories. And Kael leaves.
Does this mean that we're leaving soon? Now?
As quickly as we can.
Okay. Kravannder gets up and like dusts off its pants and is like, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go, and then leaves.
Excellent. Commander, decide if the Legion will advance.
The Legion GTFOs.
I'm just really not looking forward to this roll.
Quartermaster, choose whether or not to spend horses to reduce pressure.
It's not even worth it. Sorry. You can do what you want.
That's what you want your commander to say.
We're at 5 pressure. It's just so bad at this point.
Like, even if you reduce it by 1, there's still a pretty high chance of getting 4 ticks on the time clock, right?
Save a horse, ride a pressure. That's what I always say.
Wow.
We should keep like a book of all of the sayings we come up with. These are good sayings.
Lorekeeper.
Okay. Commander, roll pressure and use the results to increase time.
Okay. You know, it'd be great if I got just those 1s and 2s that I got earlier and I was getting all last time.
That would be terrific. Just to say the rule out loud, when you advance, rolled dice equal to pressure and add a number of ticks to the time clock based on the roll. 1 to 3, you add 1 tick, 4 and 5. 2, 6 is 3 ticks. If you roll a critical, we will add 5 ticks to time.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I've kind of like resigned myself to it being a crit, but you know, we'll see. Anything else before I just click enter on this? Because I don't think there's anything we can
There's nothing that could be done.
Yeah, just belaboring it.
I guess I get to offer.
Nope.
Wow.
Look at that.
Matthew,
4
can you read
5s in a row.
5, 5, 5, 5, 3.
3.
Wow. That could have been a lot worse.
It could have been a lot worse.
Honestly. Wow. Jeez Louise.
That's remarkable.
2 ticks.
2 ticks.
Yeah,
you do not fill up time.
Incredible. Wow.
It's funny how good a 5 was here and how bad a 5 was earlier.
Oh, man. I didn't even roll a 6.
It was very tempting to offer a devil option in order to maybe take a die away. Devil option, of course, being what the hip kids are calling double bargains these days. But yeah,
You can't do this, Brendan. It doesn't work if it's just an inside joke between me and you here.
That's what people listen to podcasts for, Matthew.
Oh, okay.
The name of this episode should be A Story of 5 5s.
Ooh, that's good.
Listen up, 5s. A 6 is talking.
Oh.
So you add 2 clicks, 2 ticks
Of a lamb's tail.
to time, bringing it up to 8 of 10 for the first column.
Yep.
And we advance to Sarpat. When you advance, reduce pressure to 0.
Woo!
Oh.
Look at that. Look at that.
Outstanding.
It's just like the tension in the camp as we roll into Sarpat is just like zoom, all gone.
Well, I mean, it's interesting, right? Because the one advance we've done previous was fleeing from certain death.
Mm-hmm.
And finding yourselves in a situation where it was bad, but it was somehow not so bad that you didn't immediately leave. The commander decided, you know what, we're going to stick around. We're going to find an augur that everyone is suspicious of, and we're going to hang out here for a little bit, and then we're going to march. Mm-hmm. And you march past, surely you see this great dripping tower that was once this watchtower. You have this strange droning cloud in the sky that seems to be like, once it was thought that a cloudy day was a sign of good fortune, but it seems like the sky itself is even turning against you. But you march away from the fields where the Constant Legion was reconsecrated. You move north alongside the Great River. You make it to the town of Sarpat. Sarpat is about as big as a town can be and still be a town. It is situated on the river. It is connected to this great north-south road that extends down past where you came from, the constant plains, and up towards the mountains. And likewise, off to the east. It is a place of great trade, but it is not a place where great traders live. Merchants and princes who make money by moving things do business here, but they do not have their mansions and their stately homes here. This is where their managers live. This is where their warehouses are. This is where, if they own things that make them rich, they are situated here. It is a place that sees a lot of things coming and going. It is a great hub of connected trade and travel. And I'm sure that as you passed through here on the way, it was bustling. It was doing a great deal of business as people were headed towards the Constant Plains for the reassembly of the Legion. And so it is even more stark now that you arrive at this enormous town on the river and find the streets empty, the doors locked up tight, the tarps and cloths that would have covered the market squares pulled down and bundled.
I think as we arrive, Aoife goes up to Nabane and she rips a page out of her like sketchbook to show the like finished drawing of the weird like invisible cloud monster and gives it to him and is like, "Oh, for your research." I think she'd been like casually drawing it.
I think you see another one like back arched, standing in the middle of the river.
Blessing and a burden.
Is there anything else? Is there anything else people want to get on screen?
Kravannder has probably been through here before. Like, Kaimorti, they go everywhere. And is probably kind of shaken seeing it so empty. And, like, I think like Nabane, I don't know that he has, like, a big backpack or anything, but it probably has, like, a keepsake or something from a bunch of different places, and so finds whatever it has from Sarpat is just kind of, like, keeping that on hand as like I don't know, some kind of good luck charm. Not exactly sure what this is for, but it's like, yeah, it's kind of like the Marshal said, when you deal with death, like, you pick up these weird little habits and you stick to them. And I think this is one of its.
OATHSWORN is an actual play podcast created by
Devin Nelson,
Gavin Fregeau,
Kris Allison,
Matthew Guzdial.
and me, Brendan McLeod. All music for the show is created by Devin Nelson. Find it and more at devindecibel.bandcamp.com. Find a link to their music and any of the games that we've played in the podcast description. Follow us at OATHSWORN Pod on Twitter or OATHSWORN on co-host. Until next time.